I'm going to talk about the Pimag MicroJet patented shower systems. And what we've done here is to take two existing systems. We're taking one that we've had in the U.S. for quite some time, which is what we call the wall-mounted unit. This is where we have the Pimag shower system. We call it the Ultra Shower System, where we're converting or ameliorating the chlorine, the free chlorine that's there, as well as filtering out heavy metals and particulates. And at the same time, what we've done is we said, let's take that, and let's also take the handheld shower system that's been available in the UK and Europe for quite some time, because in the States, in North America, we've heard time and time again, at least headquarters has heard time and time again, hey, why can't we have a handheld unit on a cable like they do in Europe, because that'll make it much easier for us to wash our pets, to wash our kids in the bathtub, and also to just get the kind of shower where you can hold the water dispenser in your hand, hold the faucet in your hand, hold the head, the shower nozzle in your hand, and just get a different kind of clean, get a different kind of shower than you normally would when it's fixed on the wall. So we took those two concepts and we say, how can we change those? How can we upgrade the technology to something that makes it completely unique, yet makes it valuable? And more important than that, what we've always been striving to do, and what we strive to do as much as possible here when we come out with new products or new iterations of products with NICAN, is to see if, in fact, we can come up with an advance, a technological advance within the product itself that's meaningful and give it to you with hardly at all, or if any, increase in price. And that's what we've done here. We've taken the wall mount unit, we've added a new nozzle, a new head to it, which has an air induction system that I'm going to talk to in a little bit. And we've also added that to the existing handheld model that we've had in the UK and in EU for some time, brought it over here, put those technologies together, and come up with two new shower systems that not only, they're the only shower systems, both of these, to combine the NSF certified contaminant reduction, and you can look on NSF's website and find us. We're very, very few shower systems that meet the NSF standards, that meet the criteria that will allow them to be certified by NSF. And we've combined it with an air induction system to create these microbubbles. So we neutralize chlorine and chloramines. I want to point that out. We are certified, we have now been certified for both chlorine and chloramines by NSF, and we create these very useful, very relaxing microbubbles. At the same time, the filtration system reduces particulates and heavy metals. And of course, we integrate the magnetic technology in there in order to soften the water, so that not only does it feel better, but it also keeps the emitter heads, it keeps the pores in the head from clogging up, even if your water is hard. Again, configurations available are handheld and wall-mounted. Pimag MicroJet, here's the handheld. Of course, you can see I'm just showing you part of the cable here in the connector. What I want to show you is the handle, which, when we say ergonomic, it fits nicely in your hand. It's easy to hold. It doesn't slip. It's easy to manipulate, and the long handle part just under the NICAN name contains the actual cylinder, which is packed with the filtration media. Filtration media here, let me take a little bit of the side and tell you that what we're doing here is a combination of filtration and catalytic conversion. I think you pretty much know how the catalytic converter on your car works. It takes unburned or uncombusted organic vapors from the gasoline, from the petroleum, and it uses a catalyst in order to break them down into CO2 and water so that they don't go out in the atmosphere and pollute us. Well, what we do here with the Pimag shower is we have a media which has a catalyst in it, and we also have zinc metal in there. And what it does is it takes the free chlorine. Now, it's the free chlorine that's in the water in most municipalities, either free chlorine from chlorine gas itself, Cl2, or from chloramine, which is the amino version of chlorine. And it takes that free chlorine and it converts it catalytically into zinc chloride. Zinc chloride is a benign substance. It's contained in a lot of sunscreens. It's contained in a lot of unguents and ointments that people use. And it goes right down the drain and bounces off of you. The free chlorine, if left alone, if left to its own devices, will cause your skin to dry out, will cause your soap to not work, will cause your hair to become brittle, and more importantly, will be absorbed by your body or breathed into your lungs and cause untold disaster, medical disasters. You don't want it. It's bad for business. And so what we do with the catalytic converter here, what we do with our Pimag filtration system here, is to take this catalyst, to take the zinc, and to take the free chlorine out of the equation. It also has other filtration media in there, again, which addresses some of the heavy metals and the particulates that are in there. So what we've got in the handle here is a tubular, a cylindrical filter that you can see the water is coming up from the cable, going through the filter, being processed, having that chlorine, the free chlorine, the harmful free chlorine removed in the sense that it has been converted to something that will not harm you. And then it goes on out. Very easy to install. And what we've done, and I know this is on the website, we put together, Tom Check here, who is part of the sales marketing team, put together a very easy to watch couple of minutes of installation instructions on how to either mount the wall mount unit or how to put together the handheld unit. So it's very simple, and even if you don't want to read the directions, you can pop onto the computer and tap into the YouTube video and see Jack give you a blow-by-blow on how to do it. 3-month filter life for the handheld, which is slightly different than the 6-month capacity for the wall mount unit. And some people have said, well, how come that is? And the answer is quite simple. Because of the long, lean configuration of the handheld unit versus the fairly large, robust, and compact filtration configuration for the wall mount unit, the amount of media, the media is exactly the same between the two. The filtration media, the catalytic media is exactly the same between the handheld and the wall mount. But the wall mount has a container that the water flows through that is the capacity to hold much more of the media than the handheld. So the handheld is going to exhaust itself in about 3 months, whereas the wall mount is going to go 6 months. And in fact, what we've done is we've packed the replacement filters for the handheld in 2s. So that in a sense, when you get a replacement set of filters for the handheld, it's 6 months. And when you get a replacement filter for the wall mount, it's 6 months. Okay, let me go on. Here's MicroJet wall mount. Again, it's the same unit as we had before in North America. The difference is the head. The difference is the new MicroJet head, which of course has 9 separate positions that you can adjust, where you can see there's an array of very small nozzles around the outside. You have some larger ones in the center, and then even smaller ones towards the center of that. And you have 9 different adjusting positions, so you can get streams, you can get blasts, you can get mists, whatever you want, you dial it in. All of those contain these microbubbles. Our air induction technology is further up in the neck of the head here, and it introduces and produces millions of microbubbles per cc of water flowing through it. Again, as I said before, it has a 6-month life. Let me talk a little bit about microbubbles. The microbubbles themselves are created by the air induction technology based on the Venturi effect. And if you know what that is, it's kind of like taking 2 funnels and putting the stems together. And when you push water through, it's going to get forced through a smaller diameter until it connects to the other diameter, and which gets larger and larger and larger. It's like the points of 2 cones coming together, and you're pushing the water through that. And what you can do is you can capture air from the atmosphere and push it through using this Venturi effect, which allows you to force air into the water. And if you do it right and you understand how to do the technology, you can create these microbubbles. The bubbles themselves are less than 300 microns in diameter, and when you have bubbles that small and you have lots of them, you actually end up decreasing the water viscosity. And what that means is you have a much greater flow of water coming out of the head, even if you haven't changed the input or the inlet water pressure. So that's great because you get a feeling that you're getting much more water, which is always nice, and it's also great from an ecological standpoint or environmental standpoint because you're getting this great shower of water, and you're actually using less water and getting a much better effect. So let's talk about the microbubbles themselves. Microbubbles originated in industrial applications. Again, these are bubbles that contain air from the environment that are less than 300 microns in diameter. And when you start to get down to architecture that's that small, they take on some pretty interesting properties. Well, first of all, because of their size, they can get in all the nooks and crannies. but they also contain oxygen because there's oxygen in the air. And when the microbubbles burst, they burst with, because of their size, when they finally do burst, they burst with a tremendous, how should I say, shock, a tremendous velocity that releases the oxygen so that whatever is in the area tends to be impacted by the oxygen. So if you want to scrub something, if you want to clean something up, and again, microbubbles and industrial application is where they started and where they really developed. And what we ended up doing was taking a look at how the microbubbles were used to remediate wastewater and sludge, and see what a great job delivering that encapsulated or microbubbleized oxygen did, and applied it to cleaning other things, and more specifically in this case, to cleaning us. And what happens with the microbubbles is as they skim over your skin, coming from the shower head, they penetrate deeply into pores to get deep cleaning and also to promote moist skin. That is pretty much it in a nutshell.